Hello good people of YouTube. Before we get into the match that today's video is mostly about, I wanted to mention a couple of differences between Agir and Siegfried that I kind of forgot about or glossed over with being so tired when I was recording the Agir and Siegfried first impressions videos. So there's two big changes that I forgot, well, not changes, but differences that I forgot to mention between the two ships. One is that Agir does not have a catapult finder or torpedoes in the hull. The Siegfried has a catapult fighter and torpedoes in the hull, which means the Siegfried has worse torpedo angles than the Agir. I don't know how I missed that. I was really tired when I was recording the videos from last week, and the Agir has two more secondary turrets with four more 128mm guns, while the Siegfried is missing those two turrets. I believe I mentioned that in the Agir video, but other than that, the ships are mostly the same, again, except for the main battery guns. Anyway, into today's video. Alright, as you can tell by the title of this video is going to be about the very important strategy of cross shots or crossfire, whatever you want to call it. So here I am in the Siegfried, the new tier 9 premium German supercruiser. I am using a different captain now because after the first impressions video I played a couple more battles and found that while the secondaries of the Siegfried can be pushed out to 10.9 kilometers, which is absolutely insane for any cruiser, they're not all that fantastic and not worth the whole full secondary build. So what I'm planning on doing with this captain, now I have a 10-point commander on Siegfried. Again, not the best thing you want to be using in a tier 9 cruiser, but it's what I have. The rest of my German commanders are all secondary builds because they're mostly for German battleships, and my Hindenburg commander is my mains commander, and I really don't want to reset him. So I'm working on a special commander just for the Siegfried. So he's pretty much a standard German commander right now. There's his skills up on screen. So while I have that on Siegfried, I still have the secondary modules in place. Again, I'm still figuring out exactly how I want to build the ship right now. So basically the only missing from the secondary guns as far as skills go is BFT, AFT, manual fire. Other than that, it's pretty much the same from the first impressions video. Now, what's happening on this map, this is Greece, and what always happens on this map, especially recently, is that, like you see right now, my entire team, except for myself, Fletcher, and the pink FDG, are going to the A cap. And what that means mostly is that is where those ships are going to stay for most of the match. So, me being the person that I am, I often like to go on the off flank because it normally makes or breaks the game. Now, the Siegfried, for those of you that don't know, it does have 15-inch guns. It has 6 15-inch guns. Wargaming seems to have adopted this, I guess, policy or style or whatever you want to call it, of making premium ships with the pretty much same characteristics as other ships, but giving them bigger guns, yet less of them. Good 12k salvo off on the FDG. And that's how you get ships like Siegfried and the Shikishima and the Georgia. So I did get a good chunk off on that FDG because these are still 15-inch guns, 15-inch German guns with German shells and a pretty good velocity, which means that on heavily armed targets, armored targets like the FDG, you can get easy 12k plus salvos. Plus the dispersion, if you notice, look how beautiful that dispersion is. That is cruiser dispersion on battleship guns. I just wiped 13k off the Donskoy. That is beautiful. Now, although it does have cruiser dispersion, it still has battleship RNG. And if you watch my Agir first impressions video, you'll note how much I praise the Agir for having consistent guns. Because while the Siegfried does have beautiful dispersion at times, and more often than not, you still do get dispersions like that, where yeah, the spread isn't terrible, but it's not great, and you often bounce back and forth between the two. But with the Siegfried, I've been finding it's more good dispersion than not, but it's not by a huge margin. So the trade-off for, of course, having battleship guns with cruiser dispersion is battleship RNG, and the fact that, well, you still overpin a lot, even with 15-inch guns at tier 9. So what's going on right now in the game is that we are down 2 ships, a destroyer and a battleship already. Enemy team's down nobody right now, but right now I am the furthest ship down on my team, and I'm going to remain the furthest ship down on my team for a very long time. I'm noticing that the enemy team is on a B, and right now the Jean Bart, the Alaska, the FDG, the Neptune, they're all ignoring me. Only the Donskoy, who I removed half his health, is paying any attention to. Right there, the Alaska, I thought he was going to make that and get around the side of the island. He did not. He hit the island, and that just saved him from getting citadeled right there. 4 overpins. So that Donskoy, that's the only ship that's really noticed me, of course, besides the FDG when I chunked him at the start of the match. But this Donskoy is the only one who's doing anything about myself right now. I'm also noticing that the Fletcher is at B. The Kitakazi hasn't been spotted yet, but you'll notice I'm going undetected every time my bloom goes down. So I know there's no destroyers within 11.9 kilometers of me. So, using reasoning, I have reasoned that there are no DDs down here, and I am free to take the decap. And now I am helping this Alsace and Donskoy up north. I'm sorry, not Donskoy, just the Alsace. Fight this Jean Barth what I can, but the Alsace is also surrounded by a Fletcher. Now the enemy team is down a destroyer now, which leaves just the Fletcher and... Ooh, that Alsace is not in a good space. The Fletcher and the Kitakazi. Donskoy giving me broadside. I'm 13 kilometers away. I guess he forgot I was here. And again, look at that beautiful dispersion, guys. And, unfortunately, overpins. Again, broadside cruiser. Such is the curse of having large guns. Alaska sitting broadside onto me from 12 kilometers. Again, I think he's got tunnel vision on the Alsace that is like 4 kilometers away from him, so I can't really blame him too much for not noticing me right now, because that Alsace is a big threat to him. But I get Citadel off on him. 19,000 damage right there. 3 pins, 1 overpin, and a Citadel right there. So now I have cross shots on all of these ships. The Alaska, the Donskoy, the Neptune, and the Jean Bart. They're all showing me their broadsides right now. Well, the Jean Bart's running away from me, and I can't shoot him now, but the Alaska and the Donskoy, I got their broadsides, and the Neptune up in smoke, too. I have shots on him, and I just got a solo cap ribbon there as well. So now I've capped D team for my team, which gives us the cap advantage, even though we're down 4 ships, and the enemy team's only down 2 ships. Donskoy beaches himself. And then, the Iowa. Speaking of showing broadside, I was tunnel vision on all the juicy targets, and I just paid for it by eating quite a bit of damage from the Iowa. But now I'm moving forward to get this island in between me and the Iowa. And that Jean Bart still showing me the broadside from 19 kilometers out. Alaska's just coming around the corner now. Again, slowing down. Trying to keep that island between myself and him. But unfortunately, he juts out just a little bit too much. And there we go, double sail for 24,000 damage. So, again, wonderful crotch shots here. Donskoy backing up, showing me broadside again. And you can see there a little bit of lag. His ship suddenly jerks forward, but also by his smokestack, you see he floored it, and that saved him there. He still eats 4,000 up the rudder. And yeah, Donskoy luckily escaped that salvo, but it looks like our Kitakazi is raining hellfire down upon him. Right now is when I realize that my bloom is down. Actually, no, not right now. I'm still trying to sink the Donskoy. Okay, he's turning. I'm waiting to see if he's going to complete the turn, and he doesn't. And that's the thing you're going to want to look for, is if they commit to the turn or if they're going to go in a different direction. While the Donskoy only completed about half of the turn, he still sailing up north, and I overshoot him right there. Now is the point at which I'm kind of noticing that I'm detected right now, and I'm waiting to see if my bloom's going to, when my bloom goes down, what happens. So now I realize my bloom's gone down, and I'm still detected. So now I know there's a destroyer somewhere within 11.9 kilometers of me, and I pop my hydro. I'm also waiting to see if that Neptune becomes spotted again, because, again, it's a Neptune. I have 15-inch guns. Magic can happen. And definitely a DD around here somewhere. Up. There's the torpedo. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 torpedoes. That means it's the Kitakaze. Now the Kitakaze does only have one set of torpedo tubes, but it does have the torpedo. Yeah, he did use both of them. He does have the torpedo reload booster that will instantly replenish his torpedo tubes and give him another set. So now I know that he has dumped both tubes at me, and that he's out of torpedoes for quite a while because the Kitakaze and the Harugumo both have really long reload times on their torpedo tubes. That's a trade-off for being absolutely fantastic gunboats. And now I know he's in D because, well, he's capping the D cap. Ooh, Neptune just got chunked by, I think, the Buffalo, maybe? Or the Donskoy? There's the Iowa as well. So now I'm rotating my turrets, getting them ready to shoot the Kitakaze wherever he's at. There he was. He was spotted very briefly. And this is the point where I am kicking myself for taking that secondary build off of the Siegfried, because right now it would help quite a bit. But thankfully the secondary guns did manage to hit the Kitakaze and reset his cap process. Now I only got about 20 seconds left on Hydro, which will not be enough to get the Kitakaze within Hydro range and deal with him. Also, I do have 15-inch guns, but I only have 6 of them. And with the way that Battleship AP works against the DDs, you know, HE is my best bet. But I only have 6 shells. It's not going to be enough to deal with the Kitakaze, especially when you want anytime you're facing a destroyer, you're going to want your bow facing toward the destroyer in order to dodge torpedoes better. But I got to figure out where he's at first, so I know which way to point my bow. So I pop my poor man's Hydro, which is the fighter plane consumable, and hope that his AA was not turned off. So I'm waiting for his AA to pop a shot off at the fighter, and judging by the way where his ship was last spotted, it looks like his most logical place to go would be to the island on my right. That's why I'm kind of waiting for him to come around the corner and maybe try to bonsai torpedo me. Or maybe his torpedo tubes haven't reloaded yet. So I'm waiting for the fighter to spot him. And then that happens right there. One of the planes got shot down. So I'm like, okay, he went behind that island to my left. Then he gets spotted on my right. And I'm not sure that's a desync. Well, that probably is a desync issue with the planes. Because that plane should have been shot down right there where that other one was at. Because that's where the Kitakaze's at. Now, it could have been the Fletcher. But the Fletcher just capped C. The 3 BBs are down south. The only ship available to cap C right now is, of course, the Fletcher. So, desync, lag, something like that happened. I would have been more upset about that if that had caused me to, go to that island and then get torpedoed from my right. But, no big deal. It worked out in the end so far. So, the Iowa's now back on me, so I have to keep him in mind. Because as tough as a Siegfried is, of course, eating 9 16-inch shells in any ship is not a happy thought. So now I know the Kitakaze's off to my left. My Hydra's about to come off a cooldown, and I slow down right here to throw off the Kitakaze's torpedoes. There's the Kitakaze. He's opening up on me. More than likely means he's dumped his torpedoes in the water. Again, I'm waiting for him to... yep, there's this torpedo. The torpedoes right there. I definitely would have ran into some of those if I didn't slow down. Pop my Hydra, and oh, hello. There's my other serving of torpedoes. Now, thankfully the Siegfried is pretty quick, and I only take one of them thanks to the torpedo protection. It does negate a good chunk of the damage. Now, I'm waiting here for the Kitakaze to kind of choose a direction to go, but he's maneuvering all over the place, so I just give it my best shot, and I miss. Again, only having 6 guns, even with good dispersion. You're going to get stuff like that when shooting at small targets. Now, the Kitakaze is also, for some reason, aiming for my armor belt, which he can't penetrate, which, that helps me out until he starts a fire. And my damage comes on cooldown, my heal doesn't come off cooldown for another 55 seconds. I get 1 turret off and 1 pin for 1,000 damage. Again, kicking myself for removing that secondary build. But thanks to my shenanigans with capping the D cap, we are now very close to winning. And what's also interesting down here, the Soyuz, I'm not sure if he was a bot or if he just went AFK, but yeah, he's just sitting there taking all that to the face. So, in pretty easy 106,000 damage from the Siegfried. I could have gotten more if I had chosen to just go after the Iowa rather than making sure the decap didn't get capped. And, you know, it would be a fair argument to say, hey, you know, you should have gone after the Iowa, you could have killed him, done more damage, got more XP. Yeah, I could have, but you never know in this game. You really don't. And I just didn't want to give the decap away to the Kitakaze. And who knows what would have happened if he would have been able to cap D, and then I'm not harassing him, I'm not keeping him pinned down. He could have been free to go back towards B and maybe murder one of our cruisers. Because the Kitakaze is no joke. It's a pretty powerful ship that really hasn't been nerfed too much. So, yeah. But anyway, happy ending, a victory, 100,000 damage plus, 100,000 plus damage done, 8,000 XP, 1 ship sunk, solo cap ribbon, and let's see, where do I count on the team? 3rd on the team, look at that. So, a lovely little lesson in Crossfire and showing off more of what the Siegfried can do. And that's another difference between the Siegfried and the Agir. The Siegfried's much more of a roll your dice, you know. You're either going to hit the jackpot, get a really good hit in with citadels and pins, or you're going to overpin. Whereas in the Agir's a much more constant damage ship. It's very consistent with its dispersion and with the damage that it brings in. But I do like the Siegfried, but the Agir is probably the better ship to get if you guys were wondering. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. We are on our way to 15,000 subscribers, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. Hope you guys stay healthy and stay safe during these times, and hope to catch you guys in the next one.